Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Greetings to Sir Zulnazmi and my fellow friends. So my name is Aisyah binti Ahmad Bahsir, and today I'm going to do a presentation on the topic of bilingualism based on a case study by Victoria Rodriguez on her work Families and Educators Supporting Bilingualism in Early Childhood. So this is what the overview for today's presentation. As for the today's introduction, bilingualism is usually defined as the ability of a person to speak in two languages, one as a mother tongue and the other as a second language. And it is well known that families and educators play a crucial role in fostering bilingualism in young children. So why is it so important? This is because multilingualism is considered as a significant asset that delivers cognitive, cultural, and societal benefits as the globe grows more linked and multicultural. Therefore, it shows that by developing bilingualism amongst children can help increase their overall development and success. So based on the article Families and Educators Supporting Bilingualism in Early Childhood by M. Victoria Rodriguez, it highlights how important it is to view bilingualism as a benefit rather than a barrier to a child's verbal and cognitive development. So, families and educators can collaborate to reinforce the use of both languages, promoting a smooth transition between the home and school context through good communication and teamwork. So, the difficulties that bilingual kids could face like language dominance and code switching, are also covered in the articles. Then this article also emphasizes how important it is for teachers to acknowledge and value the variety of language origins that their students come from. So through the integration of culturally appropriate materials and activities into the curriculum, teachers may affirm that the linguistic identities of multilingual students can foster a feeling of community within the classroom. And lastly, Rodriguez also highlights the requirement of teamwork in efficiently promoting bilingualism. So, families and educators may foster an open and nurturing atmosphere where bilingual children can flourish academically and linguistically by cooperating with each other. Moving on, from the article, I had found out that the study conducted by Victoria Rodriguez had explored the dynamic of promoting bilingualism in early childhood within Latino families residing in New York City metropolitan area. A key component of the study's findings is the participating families' strong dedication in helping their kids become a bilingual. So families had several reasons for doing so, such as wanting to protect the cultural legacy, taking advantage of cognitive benefits, and improving prospects in an increasingly multicultural society. So the family's firm conviction in the benefits of bilingualism highlights the understanding of language as an essential component of identity and empowerment in their particular cultural setting. So all families, regardless of their education and socio-economic backgrounds, wanted their kids to be fluent in both Spanish and English by demonstrating the importance of language as a link between cultural history and hopes for the future. So the families use two main tactics to encourage bilingualism as they look for bilingual education opportunities and establish a language-friendly environment at home. While parents acknowledge the necessity of English literacy in academic and professional domains, they also stress the value of utilizing Spanish at home in order to promote language skills and cultural identity. The study did, however, identify several obstacles into putting these tactics into practice, such as the issue of locating reasonably priced excellent bilingual education programs. So consistent language exposure and competency was severely hampered by the lack of bilingual crochet an educational alternative, and underscoring the vital role that community supports plays in promoting multilingual language development. So the study's unforeseen conclusion was the disparity in language development among kids living in the same household. While some kids were fluent in both Spanish and language, others found it difficult to communicate effectively in the language even though they were exposed to it at home on a regular basis. So these differences were caused by a number of factors, such as uneven language use within the family, media exposure, interaction with English-speaking family members, and restricted access to official bilingual education programs. So in this research, Victoria Rodriguez had used various types of method in the process of collecting information. The main approach used to gather data for the study is ethnography. It is a qualitative research methodology that involves immersing oneself in the social context of the participants in order to gain a deep understanding of their perspective, behaviors, and interaction within their natural environment. Next is audio taping. The audio taping of language interactions yielded a comprehensive record of the participants' spoken language and pattern of communication within the household, as well as capturing unstructured conversation and interactions that provided insightful information about the subtleties of bilingual language acquisition and usage among family members. Next, for the discussion part in the case study, I had found out that its primary focus is the role that families play in fostering bilingualism. So the study emphasizes how crucial family attitudes, behavior, and convictions are in influencing kids' language development and fluency in both Spanish and English. So the participants' dedication to in preserving language use at home and looking for bilingual education opportunities also implements the importance of familiar involvement in supporting bilingual language development and cultural preservation. Moreover, the study also identifies important barriers that families must overcome in order to take benefit from multilingual education options. This is because underprivileged populations are disproportionately affected by systemic injustice and structural hurdles, which are highlighted by the absence of accessible and reasonable price bilingual education programs. Next, the study also clarifies how community support networks also contribute to the development of bilingualism. So the difficulties families face in locating appropriate bilingual education alternative underscore how important it is for families, educators, legislators, and community stakeholders to work together in order to create a supportive environment that foster bilingualism. Multilingual early childhood education programs and cultural enrichment activities are examples of community-based initiatives that are essential in increasing language variety and creating a sense of community among bilingual families. Through this, we realize that help from communities can help in developing inclusive environments that promote linguistic and cultural variety and enable multilingual children to thrive academically, socially, and culturally by establishing partnerships between schools, community organizations, and language minority communities. So, the outcomes of the study have also shown the implications for bilingual education policy and practice. The depth of options for accessible bilingual education emphasizes the necessity of focused actions to remove structural obstacles and support fair access to bilingual education for all kids. This is because to guarantee that children from linguistic minorities have access towards excellent bilingual education, that satisfies their varied linguistic and cultural demands. But thus, policymakers must place a high priority on funding the bilingual education programs and for the teachers' preparation and also curriculum development. For the recommendation part, one idea in particular is to set up a bilingual literacy programs in the community that actively include families in fostering language development. So community centers and libraries, for example, can provide bilingual storytime sessions where parents and kids can participate in engaging language-based activities and storytelling in both Spanish and language. So these classes can help kids improve their language abilities while also giving parents useful tips and tools for encouraging bilingualism at home. Not just that, partnerships between local businesses, community organizations, and school can also help this initiative by contributing money, resources, and expertise to make sure they are sustainable and have an impact in the environment. Next, stakeholders can also effectively address the difficulties in promoting bilingualism, thus establishing an inclusive environment where all children have the chance to develop linguistically and culturally by working together and placing a high priority on family involvement and community assistance. Lastly, we also need to encourage for more laws that give financing and support for multilingual education initiatives in early childhood settings as a top priority. Why? Because policymakers may guarantee that all students have fair access to high quality bilingual education opportunities by providing funding for teacher training, the creation of culturally sensitive curriculum, and language support service. To conclude, the study explores the experiences, difficulties, and tactics used by Latino families in the New York City metropolitan area to promote bilingualism through ethnographic research methodologies. And it highlights the significance of community support, the difficulties in obtaining bilingual education, and the crucial role that family involvement plays, and the consequences for practice and policy in fostering bilingualism. Before that, let us watch some videos regarding
Did you know that learning
benefits of bilingualism.
Did you know that learning a new language affects the structure of children's brains? That's right. The benefits of being bilingual are not just about being able to speak another language. Research has shown that bilingual education can change the brain in some fascinating ways. Let's take a closer look at the top 6 brain benefits of bilingualism in kids. Number 6. Bilingual brains have more gray and white matter. As children grow into adults, the number of brain cells they have shrinks. Recent studies have found, though, that as bilinguals grow up, they retain more of the brain's gray and white matter than monolingual children. And that makes them more intelligent, have better memory, and age better. Number 5. Becoming bilingual aids focus and attention. A popular misconception is that bilingual children become confused by learning more than one language at a time. However, scientists have found that learning and speaking multiple languages actually increases people's capacity for focus and attention. Number 4. Being bilingual fosters enhanced cognition and high executive functioning skills. One of the most important cognitive achievements of childhood is the development of the executive function system, which is the brain's powerhouse located in the front of the brain. It allows us to set goals, develop a plan, and execute it in order to run our lives successfully. Research has shown that bilingualism improves executive functioning not only in children, but in adults and seniors too. Number 3. Becoming bilingual stimulates the development of creative and critical thinking skills. Scientists have found that bilingual children develop stronger capacities for classic thinking skills and outperform monolinguals in the areas of divergent thinking, pattern recognition, problem solving, and creative thinking. Number 2. Benefits of being bilingual include greater social and emotional intelligence. Social emotional skills are those really valuable soft skills that help children to build personal connections, communicate effectively, and process emotions. Researchers have found that the more bilingual vocabulary a child has, and the longer they've been speaking a second language, the greater their social, emotional, and behavioral skills are. Number 1. Being multilingual fosters a greater capacity for empathy. Studies have shown that both bilingual children and those exposed to multiple languages are able to understand other people's perspectives and communicate more effectively, with less egocentric mentalities than completely monolingual children. The benefits of bilingualism reach beyond just understanding other languages. It's clear that as far as the brain is concerned, being bilingual is better. Check out our next video to learn about the other social, cultural, and economic advantages to being bilingual in today's society. Curious about the best way for kids to learn a new language? Download the Fabulingua app on the App Store or Google Play Store.
Okay, so before we wrap up today's presentation, so after I had opened some question section for everyone during my social media, in my social media, so I've gathered some questions for which is beneficial enough for us to learn. So first questions is, what are some benefits of bilingualism for young children? So bilingualism in an early childhood offers numerous cognitive, linguistic, and social cultural advantages. Additionally, by being a bilingual can provide better communication abilities, increase cultural awareness, and improve social integration by facilitating interactions within diverse communities, as well as fostering a sense of inclusivity and empathy from an early age. Next, how can parents support bilingualism in their young children? So, as we all know, parents play a crucial role in fostering bilingualism in their children by creating a language-rich environment at home. This can include speaking to their children in both languages, reading bilingual books together, exposing them to media in both languages, and also engaging in activities that promote language development, such as games and song. So next will be questions that I've gathered from other other parents in other country. So the questions are in Korean and it comes from mixed uh, mixed parent, which is not from the same they're not speak the mom and dad they did not speak the same language. So the question is, 다양한 언어 배경을 가진 부모가 어떻게 자녀의 중 언어 사용을 효과적으로 지원할 수 있습니까? So, how can parents from different language backgrounds effectively support bilingualism in their children? So, these are the answer. 서로 다른 언어 배경을 가진 부모는 두 언어로, 두 언어로 동등하게 소중히 여기는 효과적 접근이 반칙을 소용할 수 자녀 중은 언어 사용을 효과적으로 지원할 수 있습니다. 그래서 일상적인 사정, 작용, 대화 및 활동을 통해 자녀를 두 언어에 노출시킴으로써 가정에서 균형 잡힌 언어의 환경을 조성할 수 있습니다. 부모가 자녀의 언어 목표에게 계정으로 소통하고 두 언어를 일상생활에 통합합니다. 일관도는 언어 루틴을 설정하는 것이 중요합니다. So the translation is, Parents from different language backgrounds can effectively support bilingualism in their children by embracing a collaborative approach that values both languages equally. So, they can create a balanced language environment at home by exposing their children to both languages through daily interactions, conversations, and activities. And it is important for parents to communicate openly about their language goals for their children and to establish consistent language routines that incorporate both languages into their daily life. So the last question is, 각 부모가 주로 다른 언어를 사용하는 경우 부모가 이중 언어 노출이 일관성으로 어떻게 유지할 수 있습니까? So, the translation for the question is, how can parents from different language backgrounds effectively support bilingualism in their children? So, these are the answers. First, I'll tell the answer in Korean. 이중 언어 노출이 일관성으로 유지한 것은 명확한 의사소통과 이중 언어의 사용에 대한 공동의 약속을 통해 달성할 수 있습니다. 부모는 각 언어에 대한 특정 시간이나 활동을 정하는 언어 개혁을 수립해요. 두 언어에게 지속적으로 강화도록 할 수 있습니다. 예를 들어 한 부모는 식사간, 취침 시간에 모국어로 말하고 다른 부모는 놀이 시간이나 야외 활동 중에 모국어로 말할 수 있습니다. 부모가 서로의 노령으로 지원하고 자녀가 다양한 상황에서 두 언어를 모두 연습할 수 있는 기회를 제공하는 것이 중요합니다. So by maintaining consistency in bilingual English exposure can be achieved through clear communication and a shared commitment to bilingualism. Parents can establish a language plan that designates specific times or activities for each language. For example, by ensuring that both languages are consistently enforced. So, one parent can speak their native language during meals or bedtime routines, while the other parents can speak theirs during playtime or outdoor activities. It is important for both parents to support each other's efforts and provide opportunities for their children to practice both languages in various contexts. So that's all from me. Thank you.